And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. We just spoke with Sarah Mallory, who is in her first year in the IUE Police Cadet Program. Now we're going to meet Mitch Burelison, who's in his second year in the program. So Mitch, thanks for coming back to talk about the program with us.
Thank you for having me here today.
Well, I'm going to just read a little bit about something you did this summer. This is from an IU news release from your experience at the IU Police Academy. Mitch received the inaugural Randy Williamson Scholarship for Excellence, as well as high marks in academics, physical fitness, and firearms proficiency. In addition to the scholarship, Mitch received the top rank in firearms proficiency. So how's it feel to hear all that?
It's a bit of an earful, but it makes me proud that I did so well and that I got the help that I needed to get that far in the academy.
So we'll go into more detail about your experience there. So it's a summer program. Is it actually in Bloomington, or is it kind of nearby, or where exactly is it at? And how many weeks were you there for the program?
This summer I was there for 14 weeks, and last summer I was there for 1 week, the cadet week, to get us kind of started.
Okay. I don't know if there's such a thing as a typical day there, but as best you can, to describe maybe what a typical day is like, or a typical week, if maybe it makes more sense to describe it that way.
A typical day, most of the weeks were pretty much similar as far as the structure went, but a typical day was wake up around 5 in the morning, shave, get my PT gear on, meet at the SRSC, and then get started with PT, finish up around 7, and then show up in the classroom at 8:30 for a full 8 hours in the classroom.
Wow. And about how many folks are there? We've got the two cadets kind of in your grade from IU East, and how many from the other campuses were you working with at the time?
There were about 30 from Bloomington, and there was about a dozen of us from the regional campuses.
Right. And as we mentioned, you kind of cleaned up as far as the awards they were offering. Just how did that awards program work? We mentioned the firearms proficiency, but to talk about some of the other categories that they were measuring.
They went first with the Randy Williamson Scholarship Award. We didn't know much about that. It was the first year that was offered. They really didn't tell us much about it. So it was a bit of a surprise, and it was a surprise to me that I got it as well. I definitely wasn't aiming for it, but it just kind of came how it did. Then after that, they went through the smaller awards that kind of make up the Randy Williamson Award, all the other proficiencies.
And what are some of those? I assume there's surely a physical fitness component, which being a track athlete, I'm sure you were fine. What are some of those smaller components?
There's the top PT, physical fitness, top gun, firearms proficiency, and then the academics was in the classroom at the highest overall percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I guess, did you have any idea how well you're doing? I'm assuming there wasn't a giant scoreboard somewhere, or maybe there was, I don't know. But did you have an inkling you were doing as well as you were, or was it a complete surprise when awards day came?
It wasn't a complete surprise. They kept us updated throughout the academy of what our percentages was, and Major Luce's goal was to get the top academic percentage that my chief's class currently had from '98. So he kept us on our toes about how well we were doing. With the firearms proficiency at range week, we knew how everyone was doing, and we just had to wait for the B squad to finish up, see where I placed. Physical fitness, that was up to the very last day. It was pretty challenging. There were some very rigorous tests, and the people there were definitely no slouches when it came to physical fitness.
Yeah. Maybe some time to give some credit to some lessons you learned along the way, whether here at IU East or maybe even beforehand when you were a student at Centerville, just some folks that helped you become proficient in some of these skills that maybe you'd want to give a shout out to.
One of my major coaches, Mike Day, he's been my coach for football, wrestling, and track. I definitely credit a lot of the physical fitness to him just to get me started. And then Gus Schmader as well, my track coach now. His practices are quite challenging. But other than that, I thank a lot of my teachers that I've had that were patient with me and made sure that I learned what they were trying to teach, not just get through the lesson. Mm-hmm. And then other than that, I can thank probably some family members to keep me on my toes, keep me straight.
Okay. We've had other folks sit in this chair that have been through the academy. I always ask them their favorite memory, and they kind of give me a funny look. It's like, it's not necessarily always a fun thing, but it's something you always remember and definitely something you need. So why don't we say some notable memories from this past summer?
Some notable memories? Evo week, driving the cars was definitely memorable. Seeing everybody that maybe they've never really took a car to their full limit, it was definitely fun to see everyone smile on their face from that. The high dive in the pool, getting over the fear of heights was quite interesting.
How high was that?
It was up to, I believe, 15 feet, jumping into water. It was dark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And just for the viewers that are first learning about this program, explain for the viewers just the qualifications, certifications that you're going to have after going through both the IU East program as well as the Academy.
The Academy is the full qualifications for a police officer in the state of Indiana. That being said, I would have all the same properties and titles that an officer who went through the normal Plainfield Academy would have. I'm certified in the entire state of Indiana. IUPA, a lot of agencies look for IUPA. It's a top-notch academy. It's nationally known. We do things that other academies just don't. Like the wet lab, for instance, we got to see firsthand what horizontal gaze nystagmus was in DUI testing, something that the other academies just don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that that sets us apart and raises the bar for academies.
You just started your senior year. Any thoughts as far as what you're looking to do after graduation later this spring?
Yes and no. I mean, I have so many roads to take. It's kind of mind-boggling to decide just which one this early. I've looked at different places across the state, thought about staying local.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up in the air.
You sat in this exact same chair a year ago. You were just basically starting in the program. If you could go back in time, any advice you wish you could go back and give your 1 year ago self before embarking on this journey?
Learn a little bit more about what the academy structure was. I kind of went in a little blank, and just to find out, I wish I would have practiced some of the things, like the cadence run, that I could have been a little bit more strong with. The cadence run, we say a cadence and keep in step, something I've never had to do with track. And
Mm-hmm.
being a runner, you don't really think about it, running the exact pace of others with the exact same foot movements, and saying something to keep your body in rhythm. So that was something I wish I would have worked on.
And as you said, not exactly something you would even want to do in track, which is a good segue. We've got a couple seconds. It's very early in the school year. You are in your 4th year on the track and field team. You're a school record holder on 5 relays, and you're also all-conference on a pair of relays last year. Just a few, I know it's very early, but a very early outlook for the track and field team for this year.
Mm-hmm. We're coming in with a lot of numbers and a lot of talent. Definitely more talent than we've had in the previous years. So I'm looking forward to a strong season with the team. We push each other every day, and it's a lot of fun people. No one too serious. We like to have a good time. But yeah, I really can't wait till December till these meets get here.
Right. And fans, you can see the entire schedule for indoor track and field season. It is posted at iueredwolves.com. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.